go in. It's about to go in. It's about to go in. Whoa, 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 whoa. What's wrong with this picture? Do you know? It doesn't have a condom. It doesn't have protection. Sexual assault, the spread of sexually transmitted infections, teen pregnancy, poor health. These are all things that can directly occur due to a lack of beneficial sex education, and do all the time. STIs have been on the rise in recent years. 1 in 4 women have been or will be sexually assaulted. This doesn't have to be the case in America, let alone the world. I'm here today to not only persuade you, but convince you that beneficial sex education should be government mandated in every U.S. school. The way sex education is taught in the U.S. isn't beneficial for the students, and as a result, can negatively affect their lives. Therefore, beneficial sex education should be government mandated. The first reason why beneficial sex education should be government mandated is because it can lower the amount of sexual assaults, and it can help influence students to develop and maintain sexual relationships with themselves and with other people. The second reason is that getting beneficial sex education, government mandated in every U.S. school, would likely lower the amount of sexually transmitted infections being acquired by people and spread. Knowledge is the first step to being able to prevent things. The third reason is that beneficial sex education would lower the amount of teen pregnancy and could help influence people at whatever stage in their life to family plan effectively. Teen pregnancy often happens by mistake because people don't realize how easy it is to get pregnant, or they don't realize they're not fully aware of their bodies or even sex. Getting government mandated beneficial sex education would help prevent teen pregnancy and would be able to help people go on with their lives and get started and go into early adulthood without having to worry about raising a child yet. Now, as I said, my first reason was that it can lower the amount of sexual assaults. Consent is a vital part of sex education that isn't emphasized in sex ed. I know for me, for example, my freshman year in high school, we had to go through a semester-long health class. Not once did we talk about consent. Our sex ed program was more about health. It did not talk about how you can please other people in the bedroom, which isn't the most important part of sex education, but it's definitely a part of sex that people think about a lot. We also did not talk about sexual assault. We did not talk about sexual assault resources. We did not talk about really having sexual relationships with other people. Our sex ed was mainly abstinence oriented, so it was mainly just trying to get people to not engage in sex with others. Now, only 24 states mandate sex education. Even worse than that, only 10 require it to be medically accurate. I'm not sure how that's still legal. And only 10 require the discussion of consent, which is, as I've said just a moment ago, is a vital part of sex education. To be able to have healthy sexual intercourse with somebody or engage in any activity, you need to get the other person's consent. You need to make sure that both parties are okay with whatever is going on. And that's the first step towards healthy relationships with people. Now, another statistic to think about is that 1 in 5 women and 1 in 71 men will be raped at some point in their lives. Rape is actually the most expensive crime in the US. Every year, it costs us $127 billion. Another benefit of having government-mandated sex ed is that beneficial sex education can lower the amount of STIs acquired by people and spread amongst other people. STIs are actually on the rise in recent years. As of 2016, more than 2 million cases of chlamydia, gonorrhea, and syphilis came to be. This can easily be prevented due to beneficial sex education and teaching others more about sexually transmitted infections, how to prevent them, and even how to get them treated. As a matter of fact, they, as in scientists, are actually on their way to finding a cure for chlamydia, finding a good vaccine for it. It's not something that is open to the public yet. It's not even, I'm sure, a solid vaccination yet, but technology is advancing. Even though technology is advancing, we still need to protect ourselves and protect others. And we can do that through teaching beneficial sex education. The third reason why we should have government mandated sex education is that it can lower the amount of teen pregnancies and it can influence people to family plan effectively. As a result, our society can gain a lot from this. Teen pregnancy often happens, from what I've learned, by mistake. Often what happens is people don't know how sexual intercourse works, how easy it is to become pregnant, and how to make others pregnant, and just learning about the consequences of pregnancy. People, I think, sometimes don't think about the bigger picture. For example, the world has very limited resources, and our resources are constantly getting depleted more and more by overpopulating, urbanizing, and even global warming. It's taken out our vital resources like water, good air, etc. But I'm not here to talk about that today. Anyways, the carrying capacity on this earth is very limited, and what I find is that the more you recklessly have sexual intercourse and the less you know about sex, the easier it is for teens to get pregnant, and they often keep the child, which is totally up to them. That's their choice. But when so many people are doing that, it can deplete our resources so much. And often a consequence of being a teen mom or a teen dad is you're often trying to raise your child, and you do whatever you can to make sure that they're healthy and happy and safe. Often this means that people don't pursue further education, they don't follow their dreams like they want to as much, and often people don't have much money because they're just trying to find jobs that will put food on the table and support, and they're not going into full lifelong careers until later on in life, if at all. Having beneficial sex education would allow people to follow their dreams more and go into college and get that construction job you want. It would benefit our whole society. Now, I came here today to talk to you about why government-mandated beneficial sex education should be a thing. To sum everything up, the meat and potatoes essentially of my speech, my 3 points, were that beneficial sex education will lower the amount of sexual assaults and can even result in crime rates decreasing. Beneficial sex ed would help teach about healthy relationships with yourself and with others, and how to start those and even maintain them. The second reason is that beneficial sex ed would lower the amount of sexually transmitted infections acquired and shared with others. The third reason is that it would lower the amount of teen pregnancy, giving it and getting it, with the babies. Now, my call to action is pretty straightforward. My call to action is that go about your life knowing that there are lots of consequences with not getting beneficial sex education. Knowledge, or lack thereof, can dramatically affect other people's lives. Knowing that teaching others is the best way to prevent sexually transmitted infections, sexual assault, and it's the best way to have people live healthy lives. Now, from me to you, some words of wisdom: never let an unprotected banana roam free unless you want a baby. And with that, I thank you.